She makes like video content of old games, like
I'm sorry,
Juggernaut.
baby.
Alright, if you're gonna have these conversations, can you please let me know?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They're being insanely loud.
I am. I'm sorry. I was too loud, guys.
I gotta feel in trouble.
I'm sorry. My wife wants to go to sleep. I'm sorry, guys.
The 2 days off, people started checking out the channel in droves. I got a bunch of new subs. I got a ton of engagement. Of course, a lot of it is toxic idiots coming off of, social media communities. The sissies who all they do is listen to what other people tell them, and their favorite creator kissed the game's butt, so now they got to come and be like the White Knight Defense Force for it. Listen, as I've said many times over the years, it's very simple when it comes to me and my coverage of games in the modern era. I don't benefit by saying a game is good. I don't benefit by saying a game is bad. I'm honest. And that's why I have 18 years of longevity and why people still check me out to this day. It is a much smaller group of people, but it's still a group of people who come by and want to hear my opinions on games just like this one, right? With Resident Evil Requiem, it was absolutely refreshing to see that a AAA game developer with a big budget still knows how to make good games, gives the people what they want, polishes the game, and gives us a solid, awesome gameplay experience. The best Resident Evil in years, super duper good game. And I was very happy to play it, enjoy it, and share that experience with you for about a week. In the case of Crimson Desert, here's a game dev that thinks they know what they're doing, but all they've ever done is MMOs. So when they try to make a single player game, they have absolutely no idea what they're doing. The game is not satisfying in any way the moment that you pick up the controller and try to fight something. And that's half the game. So your world is beautiful. Great. I'm glad. Your stories seem decent. So far, they did. The missions and the story seemed interesting, right? You had a ton of side content. Good for you. Horse riding seems good. Traversal. Cool. Puzzles. Not so bad. Graphics. Honestly, I don't think they're bad. A lot of people are criticizing Crimson Desert for its graphics. I thought that they were good. But the moment that I go to fight and the fight is boring or annoying, that doesn't solve a purpose. The purpose of a game is entertainment. If when I go into a fight, I'm bored to tears because everything is just hold a direction and hold a button and do auto combos, that's not good. That's boring. That's not rewarding. It doesn't feel like you ever have control of the character. I'm falling asleep. Then I go to fight the boss and you've changed the entire combat engine. Now none of that works. You expect me to now learn certain special moves like it's a puzzle boss. What is it, fucking Mega Man? I need to know the boss's weakness in order to beat it? No, stupid. That's not fun. It's 2026. And that's what these developers don't realize. They took an MMO, they turned it into a single player game, but they didn't change it enough to feel like a single player game. They expect you to waste dozens of hours grinding, leveling before you can even fight a single boss. Fuck that noise. That means there's delayed satisfaction, delayed enjoyment. Fuck your delay. I want enjoyment now. Why? Because I bought your fucking game. So either you give me fun now or you failed. Guess what? Crimson Desert failed. That's its own fault. And tons of people agree with this point. They are criticizing it on the internet. There's a huge gap right now in what people think. A lot of people are kissing Crimson Desert's butt and saying it's great. And you know what? If you are okay with that combat engine, I actually tend to agree with you. As I said in my mini review, everything about the game actually is quite good. My problem is the combat. If the combat was actually satisfying, I might have actually loved the game because everything else about the game I was very much enjoying. Okay? I'm really having a great time. But the combat sucks. And like I said in the mini review, I'm not going to spend dozens of hours grinding away in this game to beat a single boss because that's not fun. That's a waste of my time. That's a waste of my viewers' time. Okay? The game should have fun parts before you have to waste and invest dozens of hours. If it doesn't, that's a failure of the game developer. What have we been talking about is a big issue with games recently? Pacing, right? Take a look at a game like Crizzle, the other game that I heavily criticized a couple months ago. Crizzle is a game that when it showed you the game trailer, it showed a variety of enemies, a variety of abilities, and all this gameplay. I played the game for 3.5 hours, and there was only one enemy type. None of the stuff in the trailer existed in the game, so I rightly criticized it. And then the publisher came to my video and left a comment, you should play longer, to which I responded, you should just put the fun stuff first. Don't make the gamer grind away wasting time to get to something fun. You have to give me the hook right away so I know this game is worth investing my time. I'll put 100 hours into your game if I'm having fun all along the way, not if every 20 hours I have a moment of fun. And that's Crimson Desert. It's get immersed in this world, but every time you fight, be bored. Every once in a while, get a new ability. Then you can finally go fight the boss and get a feeling of satisfaction. Well, I don't want to wait 10 to 20 hours to feel satisfied. I want to feel it while I'm playing the fucking game. That's why I bought it. So if I don't get what I'm looking for in a game, entertainment, then I don't like it. And I have a right to criticize it. If you enjoy the grindy nature of Crimson Desert, if you think that playing 15 hours to unlock level 3 of the Palm Strike so you can stun lock the boss and finally beat him is fun, then good on you. Go play it. I expressed that in my review, that it's not for everyone. It's certainly not for me, but maybe there will be people who enjoy it. It's the good thing about life. Different people like different things, different strokes for different folks. But today, a lot of people are simpletons. They think that it's black and white. Either this game is the best game ever made or the worst game ever made. Well, that's not the case. This game is for a certain audience, and it ain't me. I'm not wasting any more time on it. If you want to spend $70 on a game that makes you play 15 hours to beat the first boss, have fun. Not me. I want some fun before that. Like, even some of the hardest games ever. Think about this. Elden Ring. Here's what I want you to think about. Elden Ring. The moment you start playing Elden Ring, you walk out of that initial starter building, and right outside of that starter building, there is a boss. Now, it's an optional boss. You don't have to fight it, but he's standing right fucking there. Now, I want to ask you a question. Is that boss beatable? Yes. It's beatable right there at the beginning of the game. Do you want to know how I know that? Because I beat it. I stood there and said, I'm not even going to leave till I beat this first boss. And everyone yelled at me and said, what, are you crazy? You're underleveled. You don't have better equipment. You don't have enough health. You'll never beat that boss. And I said, yes, I will. And I know why, because this is a FromSoft game. And FromSoft games have sound game mechanics where I can just learn the pattern of this boss. And it may take me a while. I may have to whittle him down. I'll beat him. And guess what? I beat him. It took 2 hours. But on that very first stream, people's jaws dropped and said, DSP just beat that insanely overpowered boss at the entrance gate of Elden Ring that everyone else ran away from. That's impressive. People loved it. Why was I able to do it? Because the game mechanics were fair, the game mechanics were well designed, and it was fun to learn, adapt, and beat. Now compare that with the first optional boss of Crimson Desert. Impossible to beat unless you go grind for dozens of hours. You need a crutch to beat it. Bullshit. The game's combat fucking sucks. Deal with it. Now, I'm done with the game. I'm not going to play it anymore. And that means that I need to find something new for the schedule for this week. Okay? And I will. And we're going to talk about that in just a minute. Okay? And the truth is that absolutely anyone has a right to have an opinion and to play a game the way that they want and to enjoy it at their own pace. All of those things are true. Sadly, I hate to say it, in the modern day, there's a bunch of people who are just fucking idiots. And they actually believe that, like, they can meme on the internet and they think that their memes superimpose over someone's right to enjoy a game or criticize it. It doesn't. Just because you have a fucking online social community of people who circle jerk each other, you know, the social rejects who sit online all day and all you do is, you know, meme, it doesn't mean you're right. It just means you're fucking stupid and that you need a group behind you to feel like you're somebody. Well, I don't. I can stand out and say, I've been playing games for 18 years on the internet. I know what's good and what's not, in my opinion. I can share my opinion, and there's people who respect it. That's why I'm still here after 18 years. It's that simple. So I want to say to everyone who watched the content over the last few days, thank you. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I got a ton of people who shared with me that they're happy that I was transparent and that I was honest, that I didn't sugarcoat the game, or that I didn't basically say that the game was horrible, because I could have done that. I could have said, Crimson Desert's the worst game ever, just over-exaggerated everything. But I didn't do that. I was very honest with the audience and said, listen, there's tons of things about the game that are good. It's just this one thing, the combat, that's what's awful. And I don't think it's worth $70 if you have to waste your time to beat bosses and things. That's stupid, okay? Some people understood that and respected it. And I want to say thank you to anyone who still sticks around and hangs out with me and understands that's where I'm coming from when I'm being honest with my content. Like, I don't have anything to gain, so I'm not going to lie or exaggerate. I'm just going to be transparent with you. But a lot of people don't like that. They don't want people being honest. They want to feel like they're part of a cultural movement or a meme. That's more important to them than actually getting information about something. I want to think how fucking stupid that is. You'd rather be ignorant than be informed just so you can laugh with a crowd. But you're the idiot. You're the ignorant one. You're the one who thinks something is true that's not, because you refuse to see the truth of the situation because all you want to do is laugh at something. So you're a buffoon. You're a jester. You're a clown. That's your existence in life. That's what you want to be? I mean, I can't stop you. You know what I'm going to say? You can't stop you from being stupid. But anyway, I don't know what's going on. My pop-ups aren't working. Did something break? I think something did break. I'm going to test something. This is from 3 days ago. Okay? So this one works. It says YouTube. It shows YouTube, Super Chats, members, everything is selected. Or to do one of two extremes. To either outright say the entire game was terrible, okay, and therefore, you know, get people on in that polarized side of it's like the worst game ever, or to kiss its butt, which I hate to say it, a lot of creators are doing. You know, the same creators who said that Starfield was the best game ever, the same creators that say that every game is the best game ever, and then they're all terrible. Yeah, they're all kissing the game's butt. Gee, I wonder why. It's not like they get paid or anything, right? Right? It's not like they all have plans to play this game for like a week straight and they want you watching their stream, so they'll say that the game's the best game ever made, right? No, of course not. Right, of course. No, absolutely. So, you're welcome, guitar player. I'm very glad that you enjoyed my honesty. Okay? All right. And then there was a super chat from a troll. I'm just going to ignore them. Okay. No, someone tipped $2 says you're getting too heated over your opinion. I'm not heated at all about my opinion. I have a right to an opinion. What's hilarious is the internet's reaction to someone having an opinion because they're just a bunch of clowns who just want to be misinformed and laugh rather than actually be smart. And it frustrates me that so many people on this planet are dumb. Just like we talked about a couple of days ago, that it's very hard to get people to think about things factually anymore because all they want to do is sit on the internet and meme like clowns with a bunch of mouth-drooling idiots. They want to feel like they're a part of a social movement or something that they recognize rather than actually acknowledge facts. Like, there's people who just sit on the internet all day believing nonsensical conspiracy theories because a bunch of people are saying them on the internet. They believe it's true. The shit that they read and stuff, they think it's real. And it's like, but what are you talking about? What factual evidence? None, but that's what everyone says on the internet. So you're dumb. I mean, so you're outright ignorant. But no, but everyone says it. I read it on X. I read it on Reddit. Oh, so you're dumb. There's really no other way to get through here. You're an idiot if you just sit around reading that shit, memeing about it all day. If all you do is sit on feeds, and this is what you do with your time, you're wasting your life. Like, there's so much more you could be doing, especially because most of the stuff on the internet isn't vetted and isn't true. It's just bullshit propagated to push a social narrative so that you'll be part of that narrative and it gets your attention and it gets your what's the word? It gets your watch time, it gets your engagement, and it gets your click, and it gets your view, and an ad gets placed on it. That's why it exists. It doesn't exist to inform you. It doesn't exist to make you smarter. It exists to market to you, to make a buck on your attention, and you're just too ignorant to figure it out. It's the only reason any of these things. Do you think that Reddit exists because it wants to propagate information? It wants to push forth truthful narratives and make the people smarter? Do you think that X right now in its current form exists because it really wants to share useful information with the internet? No. That's not why they exist. They're money-making ventures, okay? Anyway, so Princess Luna, thank you for a $10 super chat. I have to manually play animations today, which I really don't want to do, and it's going to piss me off if I have to do this all day, but I might have to because it seems like the service is broken. I don't know what's going on. That it looks like only Kickside contributions are not currently showing up through it, so I don't know how to fix that because it's not me. But thank you, Princess Luna, for a $10 super chat. It's good to have you here. Thank you for the contribution today. Okay, what's up, King Michael? Good morning. Let's say hello to everybody. Let's see who's here. We got Apollo. We got Formula One winner, Lord Humongous, Princess Luna, Yak Attack, Clamp Cut Tie. I said hello to King Michael. Secret Rain, what's up? What else do we got? Cracker Jacks is here today. What's up? Friday, I played Crimson Desert for around 5-ish hours. Originally, I planned to play around 6.5 hours, okay? Played it for about 5-ish hours. The first 4 hours, frankly, I enjoyed. And then when I had to get to the combat-heavy part of the game, I hated it. The combat is atrocious in Crimson Desert, in my opinion. You can disagree, but I think it's terrible. And if combat is going to be half the game, which it is, because you know they're going to have you fighting constantly against these generic enemies and annoying bosses, then I don't like the game. So after having played it for around 5 hours, and by the way, for the record, my audience also was bored. It wasn't that it was just me and everyone else was like, oh, but we're having a great time. The stream was noticeably bored, all right, trying to get into this game. Basically, I think the RPG elements were great, but we had to go to the camp and start fighting these enemies at the mine, and that was super boring once I exposed that the combat was insanely basic and repetitive and just grindy nonsense. And then the boss wasn't entertaining because it seemed like he was busted, which he is. Again, if the only way you could beat a boss is to leave and grind for 12 hours and then come back when you have more health and a powered special strike to beat him, then it means that the game's poorly designed. And the stream didn't like it either. Like, they were shocked. They were scratching their heads like, what is this game? I'm like, yeah, I know, because what it feels like is it's a lot of ideas that were taped together and they're barely holding. Like, at any moment, they're going to rip apart and fly apart. You know what I'm saying? And at any moment, the quest could fly over here, the combat could fly over here, and it'll all just, crash. Because that's exactly what the game is. It's just not a sound game in that regard. It's an MMO that's scaled down to try to be a single-player game that doesn't really work. So, anyway, after having played it for around 5 hours, I was tired and bored, and I was like, I really want to play this anymore, but what do we do? Because we don't have a lot of time. And so people were like, hey, what about some Street Fighter? And I was like, oh, okay, let's do that. Let's do some Street Fighter then. So we jumped back into Street Fighter 6 and played it for about 90 minutes. And the good news is, once again, I got a ton of wins with Alex. We are now